Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minutes With, and I'm your host, Alex Alexander with Client Focus Media. Today, I'm really happy to bring Knicole Emanuel from Practus, Practus.com. Knicole, how are you today?
I am fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic is a great response. That's incredible. So you and I were talking a little bit beforehand, and you had a topic you wanted to bring up today. I want you to just lead right in with it.
All right. So I want to talk today about how healthcare providers are getting audited by state and federal governments. During COVID, these have become not on-site audits, but off-site desk review audits. And there was actually a 2-month hiatus where the federal government actually paused the audits and did not allow any because of COVID. Well, now that most of the America, I would say we've got 60% vaccination rate approximately. Now that the vaccination rate is going up, they're going to start redoing all the audits that have been put on pause. So you can expect, if you're a healthcare provider that accepts Medicare or Medicaid and you've not gotten an audit lately, expect them to come now. They are going to come as quickly, and they will really, I think they're going to focus on the exceptions that they allowed during the public health emergency. Once the PHE is lifted, they'll probably look for the COVID exceptions first, because that will be the easiest and probably the most confusing areas that they can earn their money.
So you said that they had lifted, or they had basically ceased doing the audits. Were they doing any audits, any I guess digital or via computer, or we're talking about things that normally they walk into your business, like we're going to go through your files and that kind of thing. What was going on over the last 10 or 12 months?
Over the last 10 or 12 months, it has been requests for documents that come via paper, and then they expect you to send back the documents over. They usually use the fax machine. It's pretty dinosauric, but they use a fax machine. And you send the documents via fax, they get reviewed, and they give you the results. The bad thing about not having the on-site reviews is you don't get any explanation. You don't get to explain anything or ask whether, hey, do you need anything else? Is this the document you want, or are you looking for something else?
Would there also be an element of fraud available to someone who would they're saying, okay, you need a document. Here's a document. Is there anything like that that's a fear, or I guess from the government side of things or from the auditing side of things?
Fraud, waste, and abuse is the number one driving factor of these audits. That's bad. We don't want fraud, waste, and abuse. We don't want physicians creating documents. That is absolutely the point of the audits. But what happens is that they become overzealous because they are paid on contingency fees. They get overzealous and they go after the good docs and the good healthcare providers, and they nitpick them to the point that they end up having to owe money back, not for fraud, but maybe perhaps for documentation nitpicking.
Right. So basically, if this happened to anyone and you are in the situation that we just described, the best thing you can do is to go to Practus.com and get a hold of Knicole Emanuel, because she'll take care of you no matter what's going down. She'll make sure that things are handled in the proper way. Would that be right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There we go. So basically, the bottom line is, folks, if you're just tuning in, first of all, I want to thank everybody for showing up. But if you're just tuning in, you go back and take a look at this again. We're talking about Medicare fraud and that kind of stuff, and the audits that come through. And for those individuals who may not have committed fraud but are being audited as if they did, the best thing you could possibly do is go to Practus. That's Practus.com. and get a hold of Knicole Emanuel. And of course, you can find out more information about Knicole. You can find out more information about Practus US right here at iwannabuzz.com. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Do something good for yourself and do something good for others.